Hello and good morning, my happy YouTubers. Welcome to my ride. Thanks for joining me this morning on the ride. So we're on the morning commute ride. So that's what I'm going to be talking about, is commuting, motorcycle commuting. Just slowing down here a little bit. We've got these horses in the road. They're all a bit jittery at the moment because the stallions are out and stuff like that. So anyway, here we go, right. And we're off. Hello, Mr. Magpie. Yeah, so we're actually just riding across the forest today, which is beautiful, and this morning looks amazing. I can't see a cloud in the sky. I believe we're going to be having probably 20 degrees today, and it's been a nice week all week, so that's why I've been on the bike, and that's one of my slight confessions to make. So previously I was an all year round commuter, motorcycle commuter for work purposes. Never took a day off even if it was raining because I didn't have a car licence. But yeah, that slight confession to make is the fact that nowadays I'm way more fair weather rider, and in fact I don't generally commute via bike. I don't know, it's a lot more hassle for me to get the bikes from where they're like securely kept to then, you know, I can just jump in a car. So sadly my days of regular riding are over, or well, whatever, they are temporarily. So this week I've been working in Lymington, and I've tried a couple of different routes to get to work. I've tried going via Lyndhurst, and I've tried going via New Milton, neither of which are that favourable. So the route I'm on today will pass through Burley. I've been through Burley on most of my previous motorcycle videos actually. Well, not most of them, but the most recent ones. That's on the KTT, Veloset and whatever. So yeah, so we're going through Burley because I found that this route is probably the best route so far that I've found. It's very nice. And just here where I've gone through these S-bends, just to mention it in case you're coming here via bike or car, doesn't really matter. Those S-bends back there, when it's dark, so dusk or whatever I suppose is the right time, the deer just crossed the road there, and I've been nearly caught out a few times, so just bear that in mind. I mean, they have dropped the speed limit down through this village now. It was previously 40, but now I think it's 30, or maybe it was always 30 and I just didn't notice. A bit like that, I was on the wrong side of the road. So yeah, so commuting via motorcycle. So like I say, I previously didn't, when I was younger, I didn't have a car licence. I was just motorcycle only up until the age of about 25, I think. So that was obviously, like I say, my only form of transport, and it was my passion. So it wasn't just my hobby. I think that's the thing. I think there's a lot of different motorcycle riders, motorcycle owners, motorcycle enthusiasts, whatever. You know, there's quite a few different variants of us bikers, and that includes the style of riding we do. So the commuting style, or maybe it's a necessity, I don't know, maybe it's just the guys that commute, it's because they've got to. Yeah, basically, I think we are probably some of the best riders out there, and that would be because we're everyday riding, and we're riding at the most difficult time because we're in all the traffic. So yeah, so I do think it creates a really good rider, a really safe rider, because that's the thing, you know, like people often think that the best rider is the fastest rider, you know, I mean, ooh, yeah, I go and do track days much. And this week, I mean, the TT is started. I mean, I don't think the racing has started, but they've probably done practice week or whatever. So yeah, so obviously you're going to have the lunatics out there. I mean, I'm going a little bit mad this morning just because I'm probably going to be a bit late for work. So anyway, no, I think it makes the best riders in a way, because like I say, you're safer. I suppose there's another style of riding that I hadn't thought about, and that's those chaps that do courier stuff in, like, up in London and that, and they're delivering parcels. Now they're probably the best riders out there, to be fair, because they obviously have to deal with mental London traffic. So yeah, but what I was going to say is, it does make for a very safe rider. And I think when I was riding every day that I was at my best ability with regards to speed as well, because I knew that bike, you know, that was my old bike, I don't have any more. I knew that bike very well, and I knew what my limits were on that bike. Whereas now that I only ride occasionally, I'm always really like nervous and nowhere near like the limit that I could be, and the limit that the bike can perform to. I'm nowhere near that, because I'm just not on the confidence of everyday riding. So yeah, so that's one crucial sort of part to riding, commuting. But the other, so that's like a plus, the big plus. But the other thing that I think is a little bit of a drawback for me personally is the element of fun. So when I ride like I do now, where it's just purely weekends, I get a lot of fun out of my bikes. I've got more than one, obviously, as you'll know if you watch my channel. Yeah, I get a lot of fun out of it. Whereas when I'm commuting, when I was riding every single day to work and back, I used to almost resent it. I almost used to be like, this is a chore, you know, every day I got to get up. And of course, the chore element was the fact that it could have been raining, it could have been cold, because like I said, I was doing it all year round. So we have to factor that in. But even on the nice days, like today, like I say, the sun we've got out today is bloody amazing. So you're getting a real nice view of this New Forest. I hope the camera's gonna record properly. I'm not a filmographer or whatever they're called, so I don't really know what I'm doing with that camera, but there you go. Yeah, so even on lovely days like today, you know, well, I'm alright actually, because this commute that I'm doing today is like, as you'll have noticed, I've got hardly any cars, so I've got hardly any traffic, and I've got, well, no traffic lights to deal with, so it's pretty bliss. But my previous commute that I was doing was not so nice. I was going to Poole, and I had to deal with shitloads of traffic, and also shitloads of traffic lights, and because it's rush hour, well, I'm always quite an early starter, so but this is another point to make actually about motorcycle commuting. So the morning commute that I'm on today, and the one I'm demonstrating or whatever, is always quite subdued. It's quite tame. I quite like it. The only danger is you've got drivers that are not quite awake yet. They're just waking up. They're on autopilot. They haven't realised that there's a bike on the road, and they need to be aware of its sort of speed and all that other stuff, and less visibility, so they can't really see you. But yeah, no, it's always way more nice, because I can just flow to work and don't have any interruptions. But the commute coming home, yeah, normally it's a nightmare. Even though, again, because I've started early, I finish early, and I'm not hitting like 5 o'clock rush hour traffic. But it's just there's always more on the road than there is at this time of the morning. Yeah, so commuting, so the time of day that you commute is another issue and a factor that we have to think about. So like, for example, the sun, although it's really bright, it's not too bad. Whereas, you know, you've got those times of day, I guess it's the setting sun that's an issue, but maybe it's also the rising sun like this. But what I'm saying is, you get this thing where you've got there's a certain time of day where you've got a real low sun, and it's dangerous as hell, because I can't really see anything, cars can't really see anything, so yeah. So the sunlight's a factor, right? Obviously, like I say, you know, you've got the issue of it being a low sun and all that. Now the next issue is when it's dark. So the start of the year, this journey that I'm on now was just complete darkness, because I'm on roads where there's no street lights, and that's another factor. Because I'm going through the New Forest, where you've got horses and cows and pigs and what have you, so that's an issue. And B, other car drivers and what have you, like I say, they're not gonna see you as well as when it's daylight. So although the lights on this bike are on day or night, I think at night time I don't know, I suppose actually maybe they can see you alright, because if you're going to come around a corner, they're going to see your headlights before they actually see you. But I don't know, I just think that it's more dangerous riding when I can't see the road properly. My headlights on this bike are not very good. This is the Yamaha MT-09, so headlights not great in my opinion. Yeah, so anyway, on the subject of the MT-09, you know, can it be used as a commuter? And of course the answer is yes. It's a great bike. Sit up position. The previous bike was a sports bike, I suppose, because I grew up in the era of sports bikes, and that I commuted on every day, like I say, for years, donkey's years, well over 10 years, and I was fine with it just because I rode it every day. My wrists never hurt, back never hurt, legs never hurt. But now if I tried to ride it, I'd be in agony. So yeah, so this one's good. Nice sit up position, it's comfortable, it's got a lot of power and torque. Basically, I guess the torque was the element for this bike that they were designing the bike around, which is good. I've not had a bike before that was sort of aimed at torquiness. Right, we get past 80. Yeah, so it's good for a commuter. It's good to have fun on as well. But the only thing is, fuel economy isn't very good on this model. It's 2017 model. They improved the fuel economy a little bit, I believe, for the later models, perhaps the 2019, but probably 2020 model got the better fuel economy. Anyway, so yeah, so perhaps I wouldn't recommend it necessarily as an absolute everydayer for long distance commuting, only on the fuel side of things, but other than that, yes, it can totally cope with it very well. So yeah, you know, it's good for that. But yeah, so we're coming into Lymington now, and yeah, it's a very nice New Forest. I guess it's a town, I guess it's not a village. So anyway, but what I'll do is, so this is like the lower part of Lymington. I'll be popping up the high street just so you get to have a look at that, and actually think about it, I'll probably try and keep the speed down a little bit, and then that way you're gonna take it in. It's quite hard to take it in when I'm zooming, I think. Anyway, so I'll just whip up this high street, and then I'll be stopping the video just there for today. Oh, pothole. Nice to see they still got their buntings out. I guess that was for the coronation. But yeah, some morning commuting. Right, anyway, engagement time. Any of you that are motorcycle commuters, please leave some comments, give me some likes, and subscribe if you can. It's going to help my channel immensely. But yeah, if you're a commuter and you've got some tips and advice on what commuters, motorcyclists can do to remain safe, that'd be fab. Yeah, so right, cheers guys, that's it. I'll catch you on my next ride.